Your first order of business with a Word 2007 document is set up the page. Do the page setup or the page layout. So I'm going to come over here and go to my Office button, and I'm going to open up a recent document called Page Setup. And you notice that when I have my Page Setup document or any document open, it defaults to the Home tab. What I do need to do is come over here to the Page Layout tab, and I'm going to be working with the Themes group, the Page Setup group, and the Page Background group. First thing I'm going to do is go to Themes. Now, themes are 20 presets of color and text size and font. Your headings that you select for your text, and also table, column, and row titles will be formatted by these themes. So let's just say opulent. I love opulent. Now I have a different size and font for the text. I have a different color for my heading number 1. If you wanted to, you could come over here to colors, and you could just kind of scroll through here and get an idea of what some of the other color schemes would look like. You'll notice that the only thing that's changing on the document is pretty much where it says Page Setup. That's in font heading 1 or style heading 1. And other than the text, the headings are really the things that will be changing with these color schemes. And if you are so inclined, you could come up here and you could look at different types of fonts and kind of scan through and say, oh, this Calibri is just what I need. So you could click on that. The Effects tab is a little odd. It only works for a graphic that you place immediately to the left of a document text that's in style heading number 1. So we won't be using that much. Margins. Margins are pretty standard fare. This doesn't give you a preview as you scroll down through here. But, unless you have some sort of a special project, I would say that the normal, 1 inch on each side, you could play around with different ones and see what you get. But, pretty much I think you have an idea what your margins want to be before you even get going. Orientation is for portrait or landscape, and that might just depend on, what document that you have. Page setup size, this is for your printer, basically, the type of paper you'll be using. And I would think that most of the time you go with a standard letter, maybe sometimes legal. And if you're doing something really fancy, you might be going to tabloid. We'll be doing columns and breaks and all these over here in a different video because that's kind of involved. So we'll be looking at that in a moment. Page background. Watermark is a ghost image. If you ever held up a newly printed $20 bill, you see there are images there that you can't see ordinarily. And here they have some standard ones: confidential, confidential, do not copy, do not copy. This is pretty dull. I'm going to come down here to customize watermark. If you like, you could put in a picture. And I'm going to just select on a picture here. And let's go to Jupiter. And you can have a couple of different options here. I just leave it for auto and go to apply. And you can see now that I have this ghost image of Jupiter sitting in the background in kind of a very dimmed fashion. That doesn't look too good, so I'll come back up here to Watermark, custom watermark. And what I'm going to do here is, let's skip the picture and go to text. I can type in any text that I prefer. I live to serve. And you can set, for example, the font and the size here. You might, for any reason, change the color, but I would just leave it and set it as semi-transparent because that's the whole idea. So you can set it for diagonal or horizontal. So I'm going to set this up. And when I close this, very, very faint in the background here, I have my watermark. You might say that's not too impressive, but if you do this, you can come up here to page color. And if you start scrolling around in page color, you could find there are combinations that you might want to be using that could be a little more appealing to your audience. Now, I would not, under any circumstances, use this type of setup and then go to a printer, because that'd be just grossly expensive. But this gives you an idea if you just want to do a presentation, or if you're doing something on the internet or on the overhead or with a smartboard. This can be a really handy thing. So let's go to something that's less ghastly than that. Well, that's pretty ghastly. That's not bad. And then the last thing we're going to talk about for page layout are these page borders. And this is probably something you've seen in the past. You have a page border tab here, and that would give you some sort of a border around the entire page. And you can set that up in different ways. But also, you have borders here if you want to put a border on any kind of text. And you could apply that here to a paragraph. Most of the times, if you want to just like indent a paragraph and justify it and want to bring a lot of attention to it, you would use these types of borders here. And shading, you got a tab here for shading too. So page border, though, is handy. You can set the different widths for this thing. And you can go back and change any of these anytime you want. So let's just say you're going through and you're not happy with something, or you come to a specific document that needs a different change. Please feel free to go ahead and change it.